What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Talking Blue. I'm Matthew Mooney alongside Luke Langella. So, tomorrow, the Giants campaign is back on after 201 days since the Giants got eliminated by the Eagles in the divisional round. The second year of the Brian Dable era is officially underway. I know this may only be a preseason game, but this is a big season for the Giants after a season where they snuck into the playoffs and when they had absolutely zero expectations going into the season, expecting to be a bottom five team in the NFL, going to the playoffs, upsetting the number three seed in Minnesota Vikings, and going to the divisional round, which no one would have predicted. And this is going to be a huge season because they're going to need to really perform well and prove that they're a top contender in the NFL. What do you think about that, Luke?
Yeah, you hit the expectations part right on the head. Low expectations last year. Giants are predicting nothing, and then this year we have very high expectations. You look in 2016, McAdoo couldn't get it done. Went 11-5, and in the next year he just didn't get it done. This is a big year for Dable. Big year for the whole Giants team. A lot to prove. The expectations are very high. We talk about it all the time. We expect the Giants to do something this year in the playoffs, and it's not going to be easy, but they're gonna have to, and it starts tomorrow night. So it's gonna be a game that you want to see them come out there and play well.
I absolutely agree with you. I know this may only be a preseason game, but just leave it all on the field tomorrow. Knock on wood, there's no injuries for the Giants. This is really the start to the second year of the Brian Dable era. Speaking of McAdoo, he was great his first season as a head coach of the Giants, and then the next year, well, he went 11-5. We lost in the wild card round versus the Green Bay Packers, and then the next year we go 3-13, second worst team in the NFL. What do you think of that? That really can't happen with Brian Dable. What do you think about that, Luke?
Yeah, it can't happen if Brian Dable was to do that. His job would be on the line. It doesn't matter what happened last year. That's just the way New York is, and he can't you can't build this all up to just knock it down this year. It's gonna be it's gonna be a tough season, and it starts with tomorrow. You're right. You hope for no injuries. You hope to see some of the younger guys go out there compete. Guys like Jalen Hyatt making their starting their careers on the NFL field, and you look for guys like Daniel Jones hit all his passes. It's just a preseason game, but it's the beginning of the season. First time, there's refs and you keep score. Really, the joint practice is something, but this starts to count now, and a lot of younger guys earning their jobs. We have a big, fierce cornerback battle going on. We have a few running back battles going on, all for depth charts. So there's these battles a lot of times get decided in the preseason.
I absolutely agree with you. I know to preseason, everyone thinks it means absolutely nothing. The results mean nothing. However, it is a really big time for the players because a lot of guys are not guaranteed to be on the roster in the NFL, and they're gonna be fighting their lives for a spot, and it's not easy.
Yeah, you're exactly right on that. It's some of these guys they're going out here to get filmed so they can show their next team because they're not going to make the 53-man roster. Some guys are just hanging in there, and that's what preseason is all about for younger or veterans who never got their chance. They're getting a chance, and they got to show the team, the Giants, what they have to do. And I'm really excited. Last year I was in Philly for that bitter loss. It was a really tough ride home after that loss. And looking back on it, I'm ready for a new start, a new season, and the Giants better come out there and show something.
I absolutely agree with you. This is a big season. Like I know I just said this, but since the Giants have a hard schedule, the NFL gave us arguably the worst schedule possible this season, and having a lot of wins this season. I went 9-7-1 last year. It would be great if they could up improve their record, just keep doing it every season, and if they can have a great record with this bad of a schedule, that's going to prove something. And they're going to have to do that this season because it'll be a good setup for the next 4 years, and our window for winning a Super Bowl, we'll talk about that later, is the next 4 years. I don't even know if we're gonna win a Super Bowl then, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but you're right on that. You're getting to something. You look at teams like the Chiefs. The Chiefs are now a dynasty. It's all about starting a dynasty in the NFL. And the big time is after you make a deep run like the Giants did last year. can you get that second year? And you look at it in players too. Can they hit the second year? Good rookie season, bad second year, and you shake your head. But especially for this team, they need to have a good second year because if you lose a ton of games this year, then all that momentum is gone. All that confidence in the fans and in the coaches and the owners, it's gone, and you lose everything you built up for the past year. So starting a dynasty starts here. If the Giants go 13-4 this year, and they make a deep run in the playoffs, then yeah, that Super Bowl run becomes very possible in the next 4 years, and that's what the Giants have to do. They have to make the playoffs every year. They have to make a deep run in. Let's win the Super Bowl, man. That's the goal with the team. I mean, making the division round. They were 2 steps away from the Super Bowl. 2 steps away. So the goal has to be get back there, get back in Philly this year, and this time kick Philly. That's what it has to be.
Yes, I agree with you there. The Super Bowl is obviously everyone's main goal. I think for the Giants winning a Super Bowl in the next 4 years, that's our window. I We talked about how a lot of the contracts, like the long term contracts on the current Giants roster, of like 4 to 5 years. I do think a Super Bowl victory is could potentially happen, but I'm not sold on it though. I do think the Giants are going to lose in the NFC Championship game versus the 49ers this season.
Well, if they made it to the NFC Championship, I'd be happy. I'd be happy if we played a team like Philly in the division round. We go to Philly and they come to us and we beat them. That's what I really want to see. I want to see us, in a rivalry game in the playoffs, just like last year. And the scene was set. It was a Saturday night game, and we just went in there and we just lost it. We ran out of steam. But this year, you can't run out of steam. They have too much talent on the roster. We talk about it. They have the deepest and probably one of the most talented receiver cores. You know, our running back room is filled. Our tight end room is filled. Our offensive line is looking better than it ever has. Daniel Jones had the best season of his career. Our middle linebackers are secure. Our defensive line is one of the best in the NFL. Our edges are one of the best in the NFL. We have great defensive backs and a great safety and so much depth at that position. There really is. They really do have depth everywhere, which is such a good thing, and a lot of good depth too. So this is the year. This is the next. You're right. This is the window, and they got to prove something tomorrow. I wanted to talk a little bit about the matchup tomorrow. Obviously, the Detroit. You're reading a lot about them being NFC playoff contenders. So, Matthew, what would you like to see tomorrow out of the first teamers when they go out there for a quarter? What are you looking to see out there?
Um, I don't want to see all the starters play tomorrow, but I want to see a couple guys who are going to start tomorrow. So hopefully, the main guys being Jalen Hyatt, John Michael Schmitz. I want to see Evan Neal play tomorrow. Ben Bredeson. Those are a couple guys on the offensive line. I'm not going to name the whole line, but I think the starting running back tomorrow should be Eric Gray. Tight end, give Bellinger the start. What do you think of that for offense?
Yeah. Guys like you don't want to get guys like Waller, Saquon out there. It's dangerous for them out there. You don't want anyone to get hurt. But yeah, you're right on that. So yeah, it'll be interesting. So we want to talk a little bit about cut candidates. Obviously we'll be watching. So Matt, what are some guys you think are fighting for their lives tomorrow?
So I saw an article earlier. I will put a link to that in the description down below, so go check it out. It's 7 guys who could potentially miss the 53-man roster. I'm going to be starting out with Giants linebacker Carter Coughlin. The Giants have solid depth at the middle linebacker position. Obviously, the main addition being the game changer Bobby Okereke, and they have Micah McFadden,
Derek
Darian
Beavers.
Beavers, and a few other guys. So I think he might get cut, but we'll see. What do you think of that, Luke?
Yeah, I think the potential is there, but it was interesting. We had Anthony Barr coming on the visit. He's not coming on the visit anymore because Joe Shane said he wanted to stick with Beavers and McFadden. So I think we'll need a fourth guy, and Carter Coughlin fits that role. He's been here for a while. Big special teams guy. I don't know if you remember home opener last year. Carter Coughlin, first play of the game, kickoff, went down, forced the fumble, got the Giants ball back against Carolina. It was one of the greatest moments I've ever seen to start off the season at home. A great moment. So he's been with them for a while. But yeah, he is getting older and he hasn't really got any serious playing time at linebacker. So definitely could be a guy that you can see leave.
Yeah, I was actually there for the home opener when he made that play. I was sitting, I think, section 309 at MetLife. It was definitely around there. It was a great hit he laid on Hubbard, and he recovered the ball for us as well.
Game built him with that big recovery there, and then the crowd. I was there too. The crowd was just electric. It happened right in my end zone. It was an electric moment. So obviously he has that. So who else, Matt? Who else are some cut candidates?
The next one I'm going to go with is inner offensive lineman Shane Lemieux. He was projected to be a starter on the offensive line last season, but in the preseason game versus New England last year, he got injured and he really didn't play a whole lot this regular season. I can only really remember him playing like once or twice, but he just wasn't really good, and I just never really thought he was going to get a lot of playing time. What do you think?
Yeah, he just another guy just didn't really work out. You saw him play a little bit. He wasn't great at. We have Ben Bredesen, we have Josh Azedu in the guard position. So I don't see. I could definitely see him getting cut after really just never turning the corner.
Next one is Rodarius Williams. The
Yeah,
Giants didn't have a lot of depth at the corner position. He was pretty good in last season. I remember Thanksgiving versus the Cowboys. He made a big interception, but
yeah, that was a great play by him. You're right. The depth is going to be hard for him, but I remember that was it's a game we ended up losing, but in Dallas, that was a really important interception for him. But yeah, it's going to be tough to keep a guy like him. Just looking at all the depth and the guys that are more talented, more experienced than him ahead.
yeah, I agree with you. I do think he's very good. He's not very good, but good, and he's just probably not going to play a whole lot next year.
Yeah. Who else do you have on the cut list?
I'm going to go with one more guy, tight end / fullback Chris Myrick. He didn't play a whole lot last year. I remember he caught the touchdown in the game versus Tennessee, which helped us win the game and led to the Saquon Barkley 2-point conversion that I'm probably going to be talking a lot about, which was the start of the Brian Daboll era. This is year 2 of that era. And if it wasn't for Brian Daboll being clutch there, I don't know if the Giants would have won that game. What do you think about that, Luke?
Oh yeah, for sure. Obviously it would have won the game. Brian Dable made a statement right there, and he said, "I had balls, and that's how it's going to be this year. We're not gonna take the easy way out. When it's 4th and short, we're going to go for it." I think Joe Judge sometimes he didn't have the balls to do it, and I think Brian Dable does have it, and he's going to show it. And back to the thing about Chris Myrick too. That position, just too many guys like Tommy Sweeney. He's going to get cut. Chris Myrick probably going to get cut. It doesn't seem like it. Lawrence, it's going to be Darren Waller, Bellinger, and Cager for the tight ends. Maybe they'll give practice squad deals to a guy like Myrick or Sweeney, but those guys are definitely not going to make the 53-man roster.
Yeah, I agree with you. Chris Myrick was okay in this Giants career. He scored a touchdown in 2021 versus Philadelphia.
Between his legs.
Yeah, that was an
incredible
catch. Yeah, that was a great catch. I was actually at that game, and I was sitting in the end zone, and it was really like a great play. I wasn't even convinced when that was a touchdown. I didn't even know that he caught. I was seeing on the replay. I was like, oh my god, that was a touchdown! What a catch!
Yeah, that was a great play by Myrick.
I know. And let's get back to the pregame tomorrow. So some guys I'm expecting to see tomorrow for Detroit are running back out of Alabama, Jahmyr Gibbs. Also, Jack Campbell. There's a few other guys. I think those are the 2 to look out for tomorrow. Probably Penei Sewell's probably going to play.
Yeah. Well, if Kayvon Thibodeau plays, the Penei Sewell, we haven't seen that at practice. That could be interesting.
Oh yeah, I wanted to touch up on that. Kayvon Thibodeau gave Penei Sewell a run for his money at practice. I don't know if you guys saw the clip, but today at practice, he was really giving him a hard time, and it looks like Kayvon Thibodeau has developed into a star already, and I feel like he could possibly be a top 10 outside linebacker in the NFL in like the next 2 years. What do you think about that?
Yeah, he's going to have to be. You're going to be facing, left tackle. We have one of them. There's a lot of good left tackles in the league. They're one of the best positions, and playing against the tackles is going to be hard. He had he struggles a bit in his rookie year, so it's great that his first experience is against Penei Sewell, just like him, 2nd-year rising star. Back to Jahmyr Gibbs, though, I'm really interested to see how the linebackers match up to him. Very similar to a guy like Tony Pollard, who will play week 1. He's very fast, great catching the ball. It's going to be very hard to cover them. He he toasted Bobby Okereke in one of the clips from the joint practice. So I'm really excited to see, can they cover a guy like this. He's going to be an elite player one day. I watched him in Alabama. He was a great receiving and running back. Very similar to Tony Pollard, in my opinion. So I'm curious how they're going to do a match up against him, because Tony Pollard, if Jahmyr Gibbs is running all over them, I'm nervous for Tony Pollard in a few weeks.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's kind of a struggle though to see this for the Giants defense, because they've had a hard time protecting the run last year, and they got to do that this season, protect the run, and I think they will do a better job with it because of the depth they built up in free agency on the defensive line.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a fun season. I think this will be a very good season. Another thing that's crucial for the Giants, other than winning a lot of games, like just having a great record, is having good record in your division. That's something that they're going to need to do. Instead of only winning one game in the division, they got to win 4 games this season in the division, or at least 3. What do you think of that?
Yeah, they're gonna have to sweep Washington, split with Dallas, split with Philly. That's a must. No excuses there. We talk about it all the time. It's gonna come down to divisional games this year. That's what it's gonna come down to. You could split. You could really split with all the teams you play. That you can. You could split with all the opponents you play, but you cannot not win one game against that. Then you will be under 500. You can split all the games you play, and if you have an above 500 record against your NFC East rivals, you're in the playoffs. It's just that simple. You got to beat the NFC East. It's going to be tough. The NFC East is one of the best divisions in the NFL, and it's one of the toughest to play in with big market teams. So it's going to be a challenge, but I'm really excited to see it.
I agree with you. It is a very hard division, but like you said earlier, the Giants have to sweep Washington and split with both Dallas and Philadelphia. I mean, sweeping all 3 of them is unrealistic unless you're the Chiefs in the AFC West. But they gotta at least win 4 games or at least 3. There's no excuse.
You think we win 4 in our division, and then we win 6 against the rest of the teams we play. That's 10 wins, and we're in the playoffs. So we split as the week gets split with every other team. We just could get above. We just get above 500 in our division. We're in the playoffs. So division games are going to be real important this year, especially with the tough schedule with teams besides in our division, playing teams like Buffalo and the 49ers.
Yeah, I think we're gonna lose versus Buffalo and San Francisco, but I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like we're gonna get a win versus Miami.
You never know with the Giants. They're one of those teams that'll hang in it to the end. I didn't think they had a chance against Baltimore, and they showed up. Minnesota, I didn't think they had a chance. They played really hard in both games. You really never know. You just got to watch it, and they'll tell you. So, and yeah, that's really it from me. We'll have post game coverage, make a little video in the post game after it. We're excited to talk about it, break down some of the things we saw, and that's really it for me, Matthew. Any closing statements?
I 100% agree with what you said earlier. I didn't think the Giants had a chance of beating either Baltimore or Minnesota in the regular season. I remember before the season, if you told me like the Giants were going to beat the Ravens, I would have called you crazy because I thought the Ravens were going to blow us out, and I thought the Vikings were going to definitely beat us when we played them. And I know so we beat the Ravens, but we didn't beat Minnesota. We put up a good fight against the Vikings, which gave me a little bit of confidence in before the playoff game. I thought at first the Giants were going to lose the playoff game versus the Vikings, but as the week went on, I started to feel more optimistic. But yeah, that was really it for the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with a few friends, and yeah, we'll see you guys after the game. Let's go, Giants!